RapRadar.com here with Guru, YN Guru, part 3. So speaking of free, Blueprint free, you know, I know with the albums you really work really hard on them, and you know, you try to put as much as yourself into it, but respecting Jay's vision, executing for him. So how did you feel, you know, when you finally turned in that master Blueprint free, and then kind of talk to me through the reaction from the people and how you feeling about the project?
It was great. Like, the reaction was incredible. This is probably taking Jay to a level that we've never been at before, especially internationally. And I felt like it was just great. Like, even though I never thought that we, you know, went down, people are saying, "Oh, this is Jay's back. This is he's back, he's back, he's back," and that's the reaction that I'm getting from a lot of people. The New York record, I'm not gonna front, I was scared of that record at first. I knew how great it was, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
When I heard the beat, I was like, oh, this is incredible. But I was looking at it from, is this gonna be another Uptown Baby, right? That's this huge record, but it's so New York centric.
It won't be worldwide.
People in LA.
Is it a national anthem?
Is it an incredible international record, which it has become, because it's become sort of like the hip hop version of the Frank Sinatra record, right? But I didn't know if people were going to take it that way. That record surprised me.
Or just the emotion of the record. You don't have to be from New York to kind of connect to it.
Exactly, exactly. But when you're, you know, it kind of seems stupid now to say that. But when you're sitting and planning, you know, these are things that I have to think about. And then the 1, 2, 3 punch that was thrown out, which by doing the DOA, I know that satisfies my type of people, right? And that was a great subject matter for us to talk about, right? Death of auto-tune. Auto-tune is getting too out of control.
You're not just going to use it to make a quick hit.
Right. Basically. So then when we came with that, then the Run This Town was this huge big record, and then the Empire right after that is like we just threw out the right cards at the right time. And I'm so happy with the response of the record. Like, everywhere I go, people love this record. On to the next one gets a crazy response everywhere we go. Of course, Empire State of Mind. Of course, Run This Town. And the Already Homes and those records that are real touching to me have connected with the people. So it's real good to see the response of the record, but it's worked on the lower level and it's worked on the higher level. Because
it seemed like that was the first time when sort of like with Jay's status in the game, in the creation of the album, you're trying to build a bigger sound, an international sound. I mean, talk to me about that. Was the situation where you playing them beats that may be a little bit more traditional, and then like you guys kept pushing each other to kind of come up with different instrumentals?
It was him having a vision, but then we weren't actually hitting the mark. That's why there was that stop and start with it, right? We weren't actually, I don't think he was hitting the mark with what he actually wanted. But when that DOA came in Hawaii, it was just like
everything changed.
The whole album, and everybody got into the zone. Because you know how Jay works. It's like, it's not a whole lot of
gotta lock him in.
long thought. It's like either it hits or it doesn't. He does the record right then, may do 2 verses and come back the next day, but he's not like, okay, I'm sitting on this beat for 2. If he sits on a beat for 2 weeks, he's not using it. You know what I mean? So it was just that. He had to get in the right zone, find the right things.
Got that project heat. I'm sorry about that. You know what I'm saying?
Keep it hood. But the DOA was really what focused us on the album. And then there was other songs that we had that we didn't use. So just like, you know, you could hear the Biggie joint on the soundtrack, or he just put the history out because the Obama thing was so big. And,
those originally Blueprint records.
All of those was just Blueprint records. But it allowed us to move in a different direction. That DOA was incredible. It was just right for the time.
Cool. So, you have any secret vision of what the next record should go in the way?
Just more international, more big, but just know that in the expansion of the culture, my concern is to always keep the hip hop in it, and that means the hard drums, the boom bap, the heavy bass lines, the ill concepts. You know, I would love to have more scratching and you know, things like that. I would like to incorporate that. I'm gonna suggest that to some of the producers, but it's just to keep the hip hop in it, but to show the people that we can expand the music more and more and more and more, that the music has no limit, that it can grow, and as new generations, new technology, everything, hip hop is supposed, if you respect it and love it the way that we do, your concern is not about obtaining anything anymore. Jay doesn't want to obtain, he has what he needs. It's about achieving, you know what I'm saying? It's about
making history.
Making history, and it's for the culture to be respected at the highest level that we're not some just stupid kids walking around.
What's your, when you hear something like, speaking of respect, like the way Siegel made his moves and stuff like that, just being part of that movement, does that stuff hurt you? Like, what's your take on like how
it definitely affected me? You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's their relationship. I can't really speak on Beans and Jay relationship, but for me,
well, even Dipset, you witnessed a lot of poor moments with those guys, and you know,
everybody in the studio I've always been cool with.
Yeah.
So when people had their personal relationships with Jay and they you know, like had that distance from Jay, of course I don't agree with it, but at the same time it's not like I have a problem with these people. You understand what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you know that that's my man, and that's where the respect factor is going to be, and that's, you know, I love that dude. So it's like, it's not something where we would have a beef. I see Jimmy, I see Cam, I see Beans, I see, you know, in the street, like I see them. It's not no beef, but it's just like, yo, this is your opinion, this is my opinion, and we keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? I see them guys, I shake their hand, I say what's up, and whoever has a beef with Jay is just know that, just don't disrespect him in front of me. You understand what I'm saying? Like, show me that respect to know that that's my man, and don't do that in front of me. Like, I don't, when I see them, we don't even have really a conversation about Jay. It's just like, hey, how you doing? Because you got to remember, I spent years and years and years in the studio with these guys. Me and Jimmy have spent plenty of time in Baseline when Cam was doing stuff. Like, I recorded Old Boy. I recorded Welcome to New York City.
Can you clear up the Old Boy story? Can you clear that up? In a respectful, tactful way. That it wasn't.
Just had made the beat. It's the same thing. Like it used to be Justin there making a whole bunch of beats. We would have a whole bunch of Kanye beats. We would have beats from everybody. So any artist might hear the beat, right? But Just said this is for Jay. Jay sat on the beat and never used it. So one day Cam walked in and was like, "Yo, go. Did he still not use that beat? Man, throw that beat up."
Yeah.
Right?
Let me do something.
Let me do something to it. He ran through the beat so fast. I remember the day specifically. We had the joint done at like 3:30, right? And I put a rough mix on it. And that was the first one where it says Guru start popping. And it ends
it ends with that.
I put a rough mix. He was like, yo, don't even just rough it. Like, rough it so that it can go on radio. I rough mixed it. He ran out the studio, ran to High 97, and it was on the 5 o'clock free ride. He did that to be like, this is my song.
To claim it, claiming it.
Exactly. And it popped off. And then I remember Dane coming. Dane was like, oh, we doing a video for that Friday. It was like, you know, but it wasn't like no beef situation. It was just a beat that Just was trying. Just does. He has a million beats that to this day he holds to be like, Jay, you need to get on this. And it was one of them situations.
But Jim was saying then Jay rapped on it, and they made y'all delete it and all that kind of stuff.
I definitely didn't delete the verse.
Okay. So when's that dropping? It's a rapper.
It's in the files. Jay rapped on it. They didn't use it, but I definitely didn't delete it.
Yeah.
So it was just, you know, it was just a situation where he wanted that beat.
Yeah.
And it was the right move for them.
Yeah,
to be honest
it helped
with you, the way they did it was better than the way Just had it planned. You know what I mean? Because Just had the beat structured a certain way where the Old Boys wasn't riding through the whole beat. And then the way that they had me loop it was so that the boys kept coming and they structured the rhyme around
They
that,
made it their record. They made it their record.
And, you know, it kind of introduced Santana to the people that didn't really know who he was, and it was a big record for him. It's a huge record.
Well, thanks for clearing that up, man.
It's all good.
So good luck with the tour, MSG. I'll see you tomorrow.
Tomorrow, man. MSG, if you ain't got your ticket, you short, man.
All right, thanks, Guru.
Yes, sir.